In this video, I'm going to try to clear the summit with Baker Pantheon. Just like standard Pantheon, he leaps onto the battlefield after a short delay, dealing damage to enemies and shielding your allies. He also starts you off with the Cooking Pot Gold Augment, which gives your team bonus health as long as there is a spatula or frying pan item on the field. It looks like we have a pretty decent start for Soul Fighters this game. I have a Samira on my bench, and we have a Naafiri and a Kalista in the shop, so let's try to build around that. Like I mentioned in previous videos, the challenges that the bosses have can really make the difference in whether or not you're able to clear the summit. And looking at Braum here, he has Fortified, which gives his units bonus durability, but also Committed, which is going to remove 3 potential units from our board. So I'm probably going to end up going with Seraphine here. The physical augment, I think, makes the game easier, because then you can focus on just building armor items. But Explosive can tend to make it a little bit more difficult, especially since it's going to deal magic damage. I'm not sure if physical overwrites the magic damage from Explosive, but we can test it out and see. We can see from the damage graph that when the enemies explode, they are going to deal magic damage, so we'll just build normally. We just got really lucky and got a Soul Fighter Fame upgrade, so I'm going to go ahead and take this augment because I think it's going to be the best for this build. I'm going to reposition my Samira here because the Cooking Pot augment only gives health to the nearest allied champion, so I want my tanks to get the bonus health. It's not really that good to have the bonus health on your carries in the backline, so I'm going to reposition the Samira so that she's closer to the Naafiri. Eventually, we'll move this frying pan over onto Naafiri and put her next to Sett on the board. That way Sett gets the bonus health. That round was really close. I'm going to level up and put this Zhao on the board, and then I think we'll be able to clear it. Armored Up won't be that bad for us this game, because even though Samira is our primary damage right now, she has a Last Whisper and the power-up Bludgeoner, which are both reducing the enemy's armor. We also are going to have Viego as a secondary carry in the Soul Fighter build, so he deals magic damage, so the Bramble Vest won't matter as much. Times Up can be a little bit annoying if we don't clear the enemy team fast enough, because they're going to end up getting a significant boost to their health and damage amp. So I'm going to go ahead and take Armored Up. Since we found the Volibear, I'm going to go ahead and reforge this frying pan into a spatula, and then give the Volibear a Soul Fighter emblem. That way we'll be at 6 Soul Fighter. Later on, I'm going to end up moving the Gnasher's Tooth and the Hand of Justice over to the Viego, but for now, giving our Samira the boost with a higher critical chance is going to be really helpful. I'm going to go ahead and slam the fish bones on the Volibear for now, since he's going to be our temporary second damage dealer. When I get another Reforger, I'm going to go ahead and reforge the fish bones, because I don't think it's going to be that useful for the champions that we have in the Soul Fighter build. I'm going to reposition my team slightly so that Volibear and Zhao get the shield from Pantheon when he leaps in, and I'm also going to put the second frying pan on the Naafiri for now, and put the Banshee's Veil that we got on the Zhao. The Banshee's Veil is going to give our frontline immunity to crowd control for 18 seconds, as well as some bonus attack speed, and I think that's going to be really helpful for getting into the enemy backline. It looks like that wave was just a little bit too tough for us right now. I'm going to go ahead and put the Archangel Staff as well as the blue buff that we have on the Lux and level up and put this Viego in and see if that makes the difference. I can also use the Reforger that we got on the Volibear so that we can get maybe something better than the fish bones for our team. The Innervating Locket is definitely going to be a lot better than the fish bones. I think our Zhao is going to be a super tank at this point because he'll be healing for 20% of his max health every time he casts his ability, on top of the 300 health that he already heals. So he'll be healing around 600 health, so a third, which is going to be really good. We also just got really lucky and hit a super early Gwen. I don't have room for her on the board right now, but I'm going to start to level to 8 so that we can get 8 Soul Fighter on the board and take the advantage of that buff. I wasn't really a fan of the first choices we had for the prismatic augments, but Radiant Refractor is always awesome because I can upgrade one of my champion's items into a Radiant item. I think it's better than the Radiant Relics because Radiant Relics is 5 random items, whereas Radiant Refractor allows you to take an item that's already on one of your champions and make it even better. I don't have the item that I want to use the Masterwork upgrade on yet, because I'm looking to put an Infinity Edge on our Samira. So until we have that, I'm going to hold this on the bench. I think with the 2-star Samira that we got this wave, we're definitely going to be able to clear this one and move on to the next. Stormbender is definitely going to be the Celestial challenge that I picked this round, because Death's Fire is going to make it really tough for our backline to stay alive. The Fishbones is going to make it so that the enemy Golem attacks a random character on our team every time, and the Sniper's Focus giving damage amp, and the Death's Fire's Grasp dealing 40% of our unit's max health is going to make it really easy for the Golem to one-shot or two-shot our carries. I am going to go ahead and spend the money on leveling up here so that I can get the Gwen on the board and start taking advantage of the Soul Fighter 8 buff. The additional bonus health and damage I think is really going to help us clear the rest of the game. Horizon Focus is going to be a really good item for us to put on the Viego, because when he activates his ability, his second attack is going to stun the target. So Horizon Focus is going to allow him to deal bonus 30% of the enemy's max health. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Horizon Focus and move the 2 items from the Samira in our backline onto the Viego. The Striker's Flail is going to be a perfect addition to the Last Whisper on our Samira, so let's go and take that. I'm going to go with the Sparring Glove on the Samira here, because it's going to help her proc the Striker's Flail more often. Since it's really late in the game, I'm going to go and pick the Infectious Anomaly challenge. It's really not going to make the game that much harder for us, because there's only a few rounds left, so only a few enemies will be affected by the bonus AD and AP. The resistance is going to make it a lot harder, because right now our secondary carry of Viego is dealing a significant amount of magic damage, but we have no magic pen on our board right now, so we really can't take the risk of giving 2 enemy tanks the Dragon's Claw. Also, since we have the Gwen on the board, I'm going to go ahead and move the items from the Lux onto her, because I think she'll be doing a lot more damage. Oh, I accidentally used one of my Radiant Refractors on Gwen, but that's okay, because the Radiant Archangel Staff is a pretty decent item. I would have preferred to use it on the blue buff for even more mana regeneration, but we can make this work. We also found a Sett, but I don't want to spend all 80 gold on leveling up to 8, so I'm going to hold him on the bench for now, and let's see if we can clear this round. Yeah, we can see that by moving those items to the Gwen, she became our secondary carry, and is dealing more damage than the Kalista and the Viego. I don't know why Viego's damage is so low. I'm going to try to reposition him to see if he can do better somewhere else. Now that we have that Radiant IE, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it so that our Samira has significantly boost critical hit damage, which is going to translate to a lot more bonus critical strike damage. Since we're on the final round, I'm going to go ahead and roll down and see if we can 2-star our Sett and maybe 3-star the Viego. We weren't able to 3-star the Viego, but we did hit a 2-star Volibear and a 2-star Sett and a 2-star Gwen, so I don't think we're going to have any trouble clearing this board. Let's go ahead and win. And that's how you clear the summit with Baker's Pantheon. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would appreciate it a lot because it really helps me out. I hope you guys have a great day.